The fourth edition of the Legacy Ride for Hope attracted 85 participants this year. Starting from outside the former home of Nelson Mandela and Vilakazi Street in Soweto, Shepherd riders took on 4 days of riding to Howick in KwaZulu-Natal, where they would finish at the Nelson Mandela capture site. The theme of this year's ride was Classrooms for Hope. Thanks to the generosity of sponsors ABSA, 2 new classrooms, an office and a storage facility were handed over to Isaacson School in Soweto, thus setting the tone for what is a significant social upliftment initiative supported by the Nelson Mandela Foundation.
We're partnering with Ride for Hope Foundation, Nelson Mandela Foundation, and ABSA is very grateful that it was called to partner with these big institutions.
The riders were split into 2 groups, one that would be aiming to ride at around 30 kilometres an hour on average, and the other rolling along at around about 25 k's an hour. The first day's ride took them from Soweto into Mpumalanga. The day was a not insignificant 180 kilometres, ending in Standerton. Roads weren't closed to traffic, so every precaution was taken to ensure the riders' safety as they rolled along through the beautiful countryside. There were support vehicles behind the groups for those who had mechanical issues or had just had enough riding. After a good night's rest and an early breakfast, they visited the Isisofeto Primary School in Standerton, where, in partnership with the day's sponsors, Romco, 3 new fully furnished classrooms were handed over to the school. They were to be used for the grade R learners. The Legacy Ride for Hope is supported by the Nelson Mandela Foundation and is the brainchild of former pro rider Luthando Kaka, who identified a way of connecting cyclists and corporates with communities and in particular schools along the route who are in dire need of support. Hence this year's slogan, Classrooms for Hope. Today's ride from Standerton to Newcastle was around 155 kilometres. By now, the strong riders were in the groove, while those who had perhaps not put in quite as much training were taking a little strain. The Vulintaba Hotel in Newcastle was a comfortable haven in which they could rest and recover overnight. They were now into their 3rd province, and the KwaZulu-Natal Tourism Board were again wonderful in supporting the event. They've been involved since the Legacy Ride for Hope started in 2018. Another bright and early start on day 3 saw the riders prepare for the journey to Ladysmith, around 120 kilometres away.
3, 2, 1,
The day's sponsors were ATC South Africa and Tessele. The Legacy project on day 3 was in Bethlehem and is a digital skills program intended to upskill the youth in the region to prepare them for opportunities in the business and work environment. Riders on the Ride for Hope are encouraged to interact and engage with the communities, not just over the 4 days, but hopefully well beyond the event as well. It's these connections that make a tangible difference to the lives of those who live in some of the most impoverished areas on the route. It gives them hope. On the bike, the sense of camaraderie was real. Distances are long and the climb steep. Suffered together and supported one another through the tough times. the finish, tired legs were restored to full strength, and after a healthy supper and a sound night's rest, day 4 dawned. The final leg was the shortest at 104 kilometres and took them from Ladysmith to Howard. An excited vibe amongst the riders. They'd enjoyed and endured, but most importantly, they'd given hope to the next generation along the way. The final legacy project was at the nearby Mpopomeni Secondary School, where funding from the day's sponsors, Hulaman and Imgeni Water, had enabled fencing to be erected around the school and for 2 dilapidated classrooms to be fully refurbished. There's little doubt that the Nelson Mandela Foundation Legacy Ride for Hope was another huge success. It continues to grow and goes from strength to strength. The riders had a blast while taking in a significant challenge of just over 550 kilometres over 4 days. They also gained a valuable insight into the real needs of those in the communities along the route.
How was that?
And most importantly, made a significant difference through the Classrooms for Hope initiative.